Before we begin, let's pause for a moment and imagine this a silent world frozen and dry with winds that whisper across a barren desert. For billions of years, Mars has kept its secrets buried deep beneath its surface, but then one day a small spacecraft arrived, not to drive across the planet, not to scoop its soil, but to listen. That spacecraft was InSight, and through its patient ears, we began to hear the heartbeat of Mars for the very first time. Today, let's retrace that mission together, the triumphs, the struggles, and the discoveries that changed how we see not only Mars, but rocky planets across the solar system. On the 5th of May 2018, a spacecraft began a journey that would change how we see Mars forever. From its incredible launch to the moment it finally powered down years later, the InSight lander became far more than just another machine on the red planet. It became a listener tuned to the heartbeat of Mars itself. For the first time in history, we were able to peel back the crust of an alien world, not with drills or rovers, but by listening to the planet's natural vibrations. InSight's life was not easy. Mars fought back from the very beginning with relentless dust storms, freezing nights, and unexpected soil conditions. Yet, the knowledge this little lander delivered reshaped our understanding of rocky planets and of Mars's hidden interior. So let's travel back together through the mission of InSight. Let's see how it launched, how it survived the perilous descent, the challenges it faced, and the remarkable discoveries it left us with. It all began before dawn at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. There stood an Atlas Spark-V rocket almost 60 meters tall, waiting to carry InSight toward Mars. Atlas rockets had launched many missions before, but no launch is ever routine. More than half of all missions to Mars had failed. Scientists waited nervously at their consoles. A previous attempt had already been delayed for months due to a problem with the instruments. Even now, a sudden change in wind speed or a burst of solar weather could mean disaster. Yet, on that early May morning, the signal came green light. InSight was cleared for launch. When the rocket engines ignited, the first stage burned fiercely, propelling InSight upward with crushing force. Just over 4 minutes later, the second stage ignited, giving the spacecraft enough speed to escape Earth's gravity well. From that moment, it was on its way to Mars, a 6.5-month journey across nearly 500 million kilometers of cold, empty space. Imagine the silence of interplanetary space. For half a year, InSight drifted surrounded by nothing but stars. The spacecraft had been built for this patient steady, waiting for the true test to come. Because the most dangerous part of the mission was never the cruise, it was the landing. On the 26th of November 2018, InSight arrived at Mars. The spacecraft slammed into the upper atmosphere at nearly 20,000 kilometers per hour. Friction turned the thin Martian air into a wall of fire, heating the shield to over 1,500 degrees Celsius. The heat shield fell away and a supersonic parachute deployed, but the parachute could not slow InSight enough on its own. That final task fell to retro rockets. As the lander separated from its parachute, it fired its engines, guiding itself carefully down. In 7 minutes, the spacecraft had gone from interplanetary speeds to a gentle touchdown on Martian soil. Dust plumed into the air as its legs struck the surface. Only after waiting for the cloud to settle, did InSight unfold its 2 wide solar panels, each glittering in the pale sunlight of its new home. For the first time, InSight looked around at the flat, barren plain that would be its world for the rest of its life. InSight had not travelled entirely alone. 2 small satellites known as Marco A and B had followed it across the void. They were no larger than briefcases, yet they carried a big responsibility to relay InSight's landing signals back to Earth in real time. This was humanity's first attempt to send CubeSats beyond Earth orbit, and their success proved that even tiny spacecraft could play a vital role in deep space exploration. After the landing, the Marco twins continued past Mars, destined to orbit the Sun forever. As InSight settled into place, it sent its first images home. The pictures were dusty, blurred by particles kicked up during landing, but soon it revealed the rocky, wind-swept terrain around it. Then came something remarkable: the sound of Martian wind. Vibrations picked up by the seismometer and solar panels were converted into audio, allowing us to hear Mars for the very first time. Just think, across millions of kilometres, we were listening to the whisper of another world. InSight also began recording air pressure, temperature and cloud movements. Even before its main instruments were fully deployed, it was already acting as a weather station, teaching us about the daily life of Mars. But the real work was yet to come. InSight's seismometer, known as SEIS, was carefully lifted by its robotic arm and placed directly on the ground. Choosing the right spot was critical. It needed flat terrain with no rocks, so the protective windshield could rest snugly around it. Back on Earth, scientists recreated the landing site in 3D, even using augmented reality to match Mars's surface as closely as possible. Only then did they give the command. The arm extended low at SEIS, and for the first time in history, an instrument designed to listen to Mars's inner vibrations touched its soil. InSight's second great tool was the heat flow probe, nicknamed the Mole. This hammering device was meant to dig up to 5 meters below the surface to measure heat escaping from Mars's interior, but reality proved more difficult. The Mole barely made it 30 centimeters before it stopped. The soil was not what scientists expected. Beneath the loose dust lay a hardened layer of duricrust, compact, cement-like soil that resisted the Mole's efforts. For months, the team on Earth tried to help. They pressed the robotic arm against the soil to give the Mole more friction. They scooped dirt into the hole, and finally, they tried pushing directly on the Mole itself. Nothing worked. After nearly 2 years of attempts, the Mole was declared a failure. But even in failure, there was discovery. The unexpected soil taught us more about Martian geology, reminding us that every obstacle hides a lesson. While the Mole struggled, SEIS thrived. Over 2 years, it recorded more than 500 marsquakes. Most were small, rarely above magnitude 3.7, but each one carried precious information. By studying how seismic waves travelled through the planet, scientists could map the hidden layers of Mars. They discovered 3 remarkable things. First, Mars was alive with frequent but gentle quakes. Second, wind often masked the signals, reminding us of the challenges of such sensitive listening. And third, most surprisingly, marsquakes lacked surface waves unlike those on Earth. This suggested the crust of Mars may be deeply fractured, scattering the vibrations before they could spread. Through these subtle tremors, Mars began to reveal its secrets. But Mars had other challenges in store: dust. Slowly, day after day, fine particles settled on InSight's solar panels. Unlike rovers, InSight had no way to clean itself. Engineers hoped for dust devils to pass by and sweep it clear, but none ever did. By 2021, InSight was producing only a fraction of its original power. Winter on Mars was approaching and sunlight was scarce. The lander had no choice but to hibernate, conserving energy just to keep its vital heaters running. Yet InSight was not finished. In a bold experiment, NASA commanded the robotic arm to scoop sand and pour it onto the panels while the wind was blowing. It seemed counterintuitive, adding more dust to remove dust, but as grains struck the surface, they knocked loose some of the buildup and the wind carried it away. The trick worked. Power increased slightly, buying InSight precious months of life. That extension made all the difference. In May 2022, SEIS detected the largest quake ever recorded on Mars, magnitude 5. For a planet without plate tectonics, this was extraordinary. The vibrations gave scientists an unprecedented look into the Martian interior. It was the high point of InSight's scientific career, the crowning jewel of its mission. Eventually, the dust grew too heavy. By late 2022, InSight sent its final signals, but its silence was not an end. The data it left behind transformed our understanding of Mars. We now know that Mars has a crust, a mantle, and a core just like Earth. Yet its crust is thinner, only 20 to 37 kilometres deep, while its core is larger and surprisingly light. Instead of being made solely of iron and nickel, it contains lighter elements like carbon, sulfur, and hydrogen, which keep it molten to this day. This explains why Mars once had a strong magnetic dynamo billions of years ago before cooling shut it down. With that magnetic field gone, its atmosphere was stripped away, leaving behind the cold desert world we see today. The absence of a lower mantle under the Great Tharsis volcanic region also overturned long-standing theories, raising new questions for future missions. Through InSight, we gained a clearer picture of when Mars may have been most habitable and how rocky planets like Earth and Mars came to be. And so as InSight closed its eyes on the dusty plains of Mars, it left behind a story greater than its own, a story written in quakes, in wind, in dust and stone. What it discovered will guide us for decades to come. Future missions will build upon its foundation, searching for answers about Mars' past and perhaps even its potential for life. InSight may now rest quietly, but the knowledge it gave us will never be silent. And so InSight rests now silent on the dusty plains of Elysium Planitia. But its mission is far from over. The data it sent home continues to be studied by scientists all around the world, revealing secrets we are only just beginning to understand. In many ways, InSight was more than a lander. It was a messenger. It taught us that even in failure there are discoveries, and that even in silence there are stories waiting to be told. As we look ahead to the next generation of Mars explorers, we carry with us the legacy of InSight, the lander that listened, and in doing so gave Mars a voice. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to join us again here on Cosmic Compass as we continue exploring the mysteries of our universe. Until next time, let's keep reaching for the stars.